What if we found a planet made of antimatter? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but the universe is a vast and mysterious place. Antimatter is the opposite of the regular matter that makes up everything we know, from stars and planets to you and me. Every particle of matter has an antimatter counterpart. An electron has a positron, a proton has an antiproton, and a neutron has an antineutron. They have the same mass, but the opposite charge. The real drama happens when matter and antimatter meet. They annihilate each other in a spectacular burst of energy, releasing pure gamma rays. This is the most efficient energy conversion known to science, far more powerful than any nuclear reaction. So imagine astronomers peering through a powerful telescope. They spot a new exoplanet orbiting a distant star. It looks just like any other rocky world, maybe a bit like Earth and Mars. But as they study it more closely, they notice something is very, very wrong. Any stray particles of interstellar dust or gas, which are made of normal matter, that drift into this planet's atmosphere would trigger tiny, constant explosions. Our telescopes would detect a faint, but persistent, gamma-ray glow surrounding the entire world. This would be our first clue that we found an anti-planet. Sending a probe would be a one-way trip, and a very short one at that. The moment a spacecraft made of matter touched the antimatter atmosphere, it would be obliterated. The resulting explosion would be catastrophic, releasing energy equivalent to thousands of nuclear bombs. The explosion would be so bright that it could be seen from light years away, a sudden brilliant flash in the cosmos. It would be an unmistakable signature of matter-antimatter annihilation. So we'd have to study this world from a very, very safe distance. What would this anti-planet even be like? On its surface, it might not look that different. It would have anti-mountains, anti-oceans, and an anti-atmosphere. Gravity would work exactly the same. The anti-planet would orbit its anti-star, just as Earth orbits the Sun. The laws of physics would be identical, just with the charges flipped. Could life exist on such a planet? In theory, yes. An anti-human made of anti-atoms could walk on an anti-Earth, breathe anti-oxygen, and drink anti-water without any issues. From their perspective, their world would be completely normal. The real problem is that our universe seems to be overwhelmingly made of regular matter. According to the Big Bang theory, equal amounts of matter and antimatter should have been created. They should have all annihilated each other, leaving nothing but energy behind. But for some reason, a tiny fraction of matter survived. This is one of the biggest mysteries in physics, known as baryon asymmetry. Scientists at places like CERN are actively studying antimatter, trying to find any subtle difference in its properties that could explain why we exist. Finding a whole planet, or even a star system, made of antimatter would turn our understanding of cosmology on its head. It would suggest that maybe, in distant pockets of the universe, antimatter won the cosmic battle. Perhaps entire galaxies made of antimatter exist, separated from matter galaxies by vast, empty voids. We might be living in a matter-dominated neighborhood of a much more balanced cosmos. Observing such a world would provide an incredible natural laboratory. We could study the fundamental properties of antimatter in ways we never could on Earth. It would be a monumental discovery, revolutionizing physics and our place in the universe. But we would always remain cosmic neighbors, separated by the most fundamental rule of nature. We could look, but we could never, ever touch. The discovery would be a beautiful, yet tantalizing glimpse into a world that is forever beyond our reach. For more mind-bending what-ifs and explorations of the cosmos, make sure you subscribe to Space Repo.